the best evidence that the Patterson Gimlin Bigfoot film is real. So what is the best evidence that the figure in the famous Patterson Gimlin film from 1967 is real and not a hoax? Is it the non-human body ratios where the legs are too short and the arms and torso are too long and has virtually no neck? No. Is it the very strange walking pattern where we see the back leg rise up almost parallel to the ground and the front knee remains bent? Which, by the way, is very unusual since us humans lock our front knee when we step down. And the fact that it walks with a zero gait, as if it were walking a tightrope based on the footprints that it left behind at the film site? No. Is it the impossible ape costume that is way beyond 1967 technology and even the technology of today? Remember, they didn't have CGI and visual effects back in the 1960s, where we can clearly see distinct muscle groups such as the trapezius, the deltoids, and the triceps, which would not be possible to see at all in a costume, since the external material would be covering up the muscle movements in the first place. No! The best evidence that the figure in the film is a real Bigfoot is: this film has never ever been recreated. Not once since 1967. Let that fact sink in for a minute to truly understand how important it is. The Patterson Gimlin Bigfoot film is world famous. Over the past 5 decades, it has been seen by millions of people. And it is one of the most analyzed and scrutinized pieces of film footage ever. It has been studied in depth by people in all areas of expertise, such as filmmakers, costume designers, anthropologists, people who study walking patterns, known as gait analysis, primatologists, and cryptozoologists. Obviously, this film is taken very seriously, and many believe it to be a real Sasquatch in the film. However, there is a large number of people that still doubt the authenticity of the film. There are some that are 110% convinced that the Bigfoot in the film is just a person wearing a gorilla costume, and no amount of evidence could convince them otherwise. Yet despite their cynicism, no one has ever been able to recreate the world-famous film, which brings me to my second important point. If the film was faked, then it should have easily been remade many times over. There isn't a single recreation film out there. Not one since 1967. Why is that? Wouldn't doing so prove to the world once and for all that the film footage is a hoax? What's the hesitation? What's the delay? It's not like there's a shortage of movie cameras or video cameras out there. There are millions available and owned throughout the world. Nor is there a shortage of Bigfoot costumes, though some are better than others, and nothing has ever been created as what we see in the Patterson Bigfoot film. Maybe that's part of the problem. And there are certainly plenty of professional costume makers and makeup artists around, possibly even more than in 1967. There's certainly no shortage of skeptics about the film. As far as I'm concerned, this hesitation or inability to recreate the famous Patterson Bigfoot film speaks volumes. Perhaps it hasn't been recreated because it can't be recreated, possibly because the figure in the film is a real Sasquatch. As an end note, keep in mind that you don't have to be a professional anthropologist or primatologist or have a degree in science in order to study the 1967 Patterson Bigfoot film. The only tools you need are your eyes, your brain, and a desire to learn the truth about what you see. Noting its very unusual non-human body ratios, walking pattern, and external attributes such as visible muscle movements, this film can hold one's interest for years at a time, only to become more and more mysterious the more it is studied. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave your thoughts in the comments section below.